Hey guys, so we're going to be checking out the new archetype, the Wind Witches. Now keep in mind that there's not that many cards in this archetype right now, but we're going to go ahead and check them out as is, and I'll give you guys like two different little deck profiles that you guys can kind of try out. Now let's go ahead and jump right into them, and they're all about winds. That's just basically how the deck works. At the moment, there's Crystal Wing and there's Clear Wing. Those are really two of the main like cards that you want to actually like make that are wins. Although more likely you're going to be busting out Crystal Wing. Clear Wing is it's just not as good. But anyways, Metal Foes Yang Zing. That's actually a deck that a lot of people are looking forward to playing because it has a lot of good synergy. But nonetheless, you can see this guy over here activates the 9 branch, so he's going to go ahead and stop that from going off. Then he's going to activate so many counters over here, so he's going to go ahead and just basically turn all of those traps into monsters, into pendulum monsters. It would be so great to have a Regeki then just blow up scale and then he'd be top decking, but nonetheless, well, he would technically, I guess, still have the Big C over there, so he'd float into like one card. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and see what he busts into when he busts into the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Now, Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, it's going to have a bonus, so let me go and pause it right here because this is like the bread and butter of the deck, and if you're going to play the deck, you're going to understand how the deck works. So really what it comes down to is Wind Witch Snowbell. So a wind synchro monster that used this card as a synchro material cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effect. So that's really good. This card pretty much can't be destroyed by battle by majority of things, because if it battles at level 5 or higher, you get to go ahead and gain that damage, and then you can negate anything as far as monster effects go. And then you have Wind Witch Ice Bell, which just lets you go ahead and special summon this card from your hand, and then you can also special summon one Wind Witch monster from your deck. So that lets you get out pretty much whatever you want, but there is a downside. That the monster that you summon cannot be tributed, and you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except for level 5 or higher wind monsters. So that's basically the bread and butter of the deck, is to bust out Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon and basically play the Protect the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon game. Now, you could argue that Dragoonities could do this, and you'd be right, they kind of have the same mechanic. But it's something new, so you know people like new things. Now he goes ahead and activates this effect over here, but that Yazi's not going to get the effect because he didn't know it couldn't be destroyed. Now, overall, that's just the basics of the deck. It's pretty much make Clear Wing, but I have a few more replays, and some of them are actually pretty hype, so let's go ahead and just jump into some more replays over here. It's just going to show off like what the deck does, and again, the whole like point of the deck is pretty much just to make that one card, which is the Crystal Wing. You can bust into Quasar, which I will show you guys, but for the most part, like because of that limitation where you can only summon winds, that really sucks. If it didn't have that downside, then this deck would be potentially really good. It still can be really good, but at the moment we only have one synchro for this deck, which is this card over here. Let me show you guys this card. So it's the Winter Bell. So you get to target a Wind Witch monster in your graveyard, and you get to burn your opponent times its level times 200. And then during either player's battle phase, you get to target one Wind Witch monster you control and special summon one monster from your hand with a level less than or equal to that monster's. But it can't attack this turn. You can only use each effect of it once per turn. So pretty much you burn them, and then you can go ahead and synchro into this. It's a really simple combo, but heck, it works, right? You know, sometimes certain decks are really simple. Light Sworn, just throw all the cards in the graveyard, summon Judgment Dragon, blow up the board, you know. Very, very simple game mechanic, and it works. Well, it was actually at one point, you know, a deck that has won a lot of bigger events, but, you know, people like the new stuff, I totally understand. And, you know, this card is still really good because, you know, it's 4,700 attack. It's ridiculous over there. And then again, that Wind Witch Snow Bell really just, with the Crystal Wing, it pretty much puts your opponent into a state where like some decks just don't have an out to it. Like he's gonna try to like destroy this monster, but it can't be destroyed, so he's gonna be able to attack over. And then anything that it battles, if it's a level 5 or higher, then it's just gonna be able to destroy it anyways. And on top of that, it negates any monster's effects. So most decks will have a problem with it because like the back row, I mean, I know that there are cards that can flip things face down. I mean, TCG, heck, Wise Book amongst 1 here in the TCG. But yeah, you can see that like it puts your opponent into a situation where it's like another one of those towers kind of monsters where it's like a lot of decks just don't have the out to it. Now you could argue technically that you can make S39 that could definitely deal with it, but keep in mind it's able to negate effects. So like if they summon something to activate an effect to special summon another card, negate and destroy it. So it can be difficult for some decks to deal with it. Now we're going to go ahead and actually show off the Quasar play with this. Now this is still the same deck, there's multiple ways to make it, and this he didn't even need the Wind Witches. There's a card called Limit Overdrive that you can actually use. to bust it out. So let's go ahead and just watch it. You will be making it as soon as your opponent's turn starts, but anyways, he's going to go ahead and actually Veiler this, but it doesn't really matter at this point because he upstarts, and then he's able to go ahead and just go for that Speedroid Bamboo Horse. Pretty good card. It's a newer card, actually. You banish it to send another wind monster, so you can kind of set up your graveyard. You can see over here, he didn't have a Wind Witch, but he would have been able to burn his opponent, and he goes ahead and summons a Quasar. He did have to use a lot of cards, granted, but it doesn't really matter. At this point, he made a 101, but then he's like, oh, I done goofed. Because first off, it's in defense position. Second off, Quasar would just negate it. Even if he went into Castell, it didn't really matter at that point. He needed to detach the material, so maybe, I wish I could click on it, but he would have technically been able to deal with that. Yeah, he kind of done goofed over there. He needed to detach. If both of them were heraldic beast monsters, then yeah, he could have dealt with the Quasar. Yeah, he unfortunately was not able to deal with it. But anyways, yeah, I got two builds for you guys also. Let me see. Does this one have the okay, because there's two different builds that I want to share with you guys. One is the one that you're seeing, and one is someone else that just sent me that, and he's like, just test it out. And I'm like, well, I'll test it out later. Probably after we finish Deus Ex, which is a game that I'm looking forward to playing later. But nonetheless, he goes ahead and busts out. Again, it's like the same bread and butter combo. Overall, this is what you do in the deck, guys. There's only a few cards right now. I think there's the Wind Witch. Where was there? There's one. Let me move this out of the way. There's only so many cards right now. There's the Ice Bell, Snow Bell, and then there's the Synchro, which is the Winter Bell. So, yeah, there's limited cards for right now, but, you know, of course, they should get more than 3 cards, so that'd be really bad. I mean, heck, I don't know if you guys remember the Duston archetype, but when that first came out, there was 1 Duston, so you couldn't even use them. I hate it when they release cards like that, nonetheless, I mean, this one is actually pretty funny over here, it's because this guy busts out this card, which I didn't even know this was a card. I don't know if you guys, I don't even know if I've covered this card. It's Go-Go-Go Golem, Golden Form. So, it must be special summoned by triggering a Go-Go-Go monster. It can't be special summoned by other ways. So its attack becomes double the original attack of the tribute monster. Any battle damage your opponent takes becomes half. Then once per turn during either player's turn, if a monster effect is activated, on your opponent's side of the field, it loses 1500 attack and it negates the effect. Almost reminds me of Light and Darkness Dragon. So he's going to go ahead and summon this card, and then he's going to go ahead and try to activate that effect, but it's going to be like, nope, psych. And so he's going to go ahead and actually summon that, and he's going to go ahead and Bamboo, send all to the grave, bust out the Winter Witch Wind Bell. He's going to go ahead and burn his opponent over here, but this card doesn't exactly do too much on its own. Again, it's like burn, and then you have to wait, and then Utopia was made. The next card was going to be Solemn Strike anyway, so it was pretty much irrelevant at that point. But anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and actually give you guys like a deck recipe for you guys. Maybe you guys want to mess around with it. So I have 2 different builds. There's one build, and then there's a Magispector build. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with the Magispectors. But anyways, let's just gonna go over the deck and talk a little bit about it. So basically, it's using the Speedroid engine. So it's using the Speedroid Double Yo-Yo. One card I can recommend for you guys is Totem Bird, because realistically, like, you don't need everything in the extra deck. Like, you realistically could get away with this at its core. You can use these 10. Feel free to go ahead and try out other cards as well. One card I can recommend is Totem Bird. I also recommend this card, especially in TCG, because you know, monarchs are pretty strong. The reason why is because there's a card called Majesty's Fiend, and sometimes you just really need to deal with that, and this allows you easy access to getting rid of that card, because there is this card where you just go ahead and special summon it, and then you can just summon any level 3, and then you go straight into this card, and you can get over it, because that can be a problem for a lot of decks to deal with that card. So yeah, this could be an excellent card to use to get over it. But anyways, yeah, he's playing the Speedroid engine, so we got Triple Yo-Yo, and then this card is one of the newer cards. It's the Speedroid Bamboo Horse. It just lets you dump monsters into your graveyard. Allows you to do really nutty soul charge plays where you just get like so many different monsters on board. And then yeah, you obviously in any synchro deck, yeah, obviously you guys can see you can make Quasar with the limiter overdrive. But next up, we got the Triple Terror Top. And then we got the Ice Bell, triple of those, triple of the Attack on Tom board. You can drop this if you guys want to, if you want to test out some things. But the thing is, when you're playing Pot of Cupidity in it, you might want to, you know, run at least 2, because if you banish one, that kind of sucks, because that's what makes this card so good. Then we have the Snowbell. We're playing triple copies of the Snowbell. And then there is triple of the Red-Eyed Dice, then 1 for 1, 1 day at Pepperoni, and then we got 3 Pot of Cupidity, Mind Control, Soul Charge, Triple Demise, 1 Upstart, 3 Speed Recovery, 2 Twin Twister, 2 Solemn Notice, and 1 Solemn Warning. Now this other one, we didn't get to showcase it off. Someone sent me in this deck profile, so I figured I would just kind of go over it if you guys want to try out something else. But keep in mind, guys, I mean, pretty much at its core, again, the deck is just make this. That's pretty much what the deck does. If you're happy with that, then this could be a deck for you. It just doesn't have that many options as of right now. With the Magic Spectre build, obviously, yeah, that can kind of be a little bit different. But anyways, this build, I have not tried out this deck yet myself, but I figure I'll give it to you guys if you guys want to mess around with a different build. Or if you guys have any other suggestions for builds, hey, I'm totally open to hear you guys' suggestions down below in the comment section. But this is playing Double Unicorn, and then we got the double yo-yos, and then we got triple raccoons, then we got 3 Terror Top, and then 3 copies of Pelicilla, the descendant of Gusto. So when it's normal or special, you can target 1 wind tuner monster in graveyard, and you just special summon in defense position. Its effects are negated, and then you can't special summon anything except for wind monsters for the rest of the turn, but like it's pretty much the deck anyways. So I think this card can definitely be pretty good. The wind tuners, let me actually, I don't think you can search for the tuners in specifically this. I think your targets would be, I think there's only 1 target. Well, you get to bust out this card, and it still has an awesome ability to have that effect. I mean, realistically, you'd have a 4 right there, then you could easily just have this card out, because you could just special summon this. And then on top of that, you know, like the bread and butter of this card plus Takentomborg, if you want to go for that. You can go for a lot of other options. I like this card. I think it's a pretty decent card in the deck. But this one, like I said, it's got Magic Spectres mixed in as well. But there's 2 copies of Cat. Then I think we had 3 Ice Spell, and then we had 3 Winter Spell. Sorry, I just kind of moved these over here. Let me sort it so it's all clean. And then there was triple the Red-Eyed Dice, 1-for-1 Raigeki, 1 day apiece, Soul Charge, Terraforming over here. And is this? Oh, it's Divine Wind of Mist Valley. So if I face a wind monster you control returns to the hand, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower wind monster from your deck. That's a pretty good effect. Okay, so that's why it's there, I guess. I mean, this card is really good. And then we have triple Dark World Dealings for speed. We got Speedroids, gotta go fast. And then we got Foolish, 2 copies of Speed Recovery, a Book of Moon, Divine Wind of Mist Valley, and triple Solemns. And then for the extra deck, like I mentioned before, like the only cards you're gonna realistically make are like these. I definitely recommend 2 of the Crystal Wing though, but pretty much the rest I'll just mouse over them. You don't really make them too often. You're really limited in this deck anyways. But I thought this was an interesting build that I wanted to share with you guys if you guys want to try out that. I might try out this build, but I feel like by the time I end up streaming this deck, there's probably going to be like 20 different more, well, maybe not 20 cards, maybe like 2 or 3 more cards, and that might change the deck completely, because I don't think that this deck could work off of just 3 cards. Like, I don't think they would just make a deck, an archetype with 3 cards. Like I said, I know Dustin did it for like one set. There was only like 1 Dustin, but nonetheless, yeah, Dustin's never was from meta anyways. But anyways, thanks for you guys sending in these deck profiles and some of the replays. I really appreciate it, because it was interesting to see it, but overall, like, it's just a Crystal Wing deck at the end of the day, which some people like, and like I said, we'll definitely check it out again in the future, but that's how it looks like as of now. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys give it a like button, a titty slap, and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh content. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'm out.